Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, they're just 231 days until Christmas 2021. And today I've got a guest with us, another YouTube creator, Creative Imagine Studios. We're going to bring in and we're going to talk about Star Wars. So let me bring him in so you guys can introduce and say hello. Let us know about your channel. What are you up to?
Hi, I'm Creative Imagine Studios, and it's very small. Uh, I'm a small studio that would like to make movies one day.
Very good.
Uh,
Very good. And he reached out to me just a little bit, maybe a week or so ago, and asked if I could host him on the channel. And we talk about some Star Wars. Of course, the topic of the day, the big thing to talk about is the Bad Batch. So the Bad Batch, we've gotten the first two episodes, and I wanted to just give folks a heads up just in case. We do expect that we'll be talking about things that could be considered spoilers. If you've not watched all of the first two episodes, you may want to catch this on a replay later. But I've got the link to Creative Imagine Studios in the description here. And you can go check out his YouTube channel there. And you've got a website, all kinds of social media presence, so they can find all of that from your YouTube page in the About section there. So what are your thoughts on the Bad Batch?
I like it so far.
Yeah.
Hunters, I think, is my favorite character so far. I really like Becca. I just like it so far.
Yeah, I really love it. The first episode to me was the better of the two, but it was longer. It was a little over an hour. The second one was just a half an hour. So for me, I liked the story that unfolded in the first episode, and the second episode didn't have as much story, but it had a really good character development, especially with Omega. And we got to go back and see Cut LaQuaine again. Do you remember Cut from the Clone Wars animated series? Do you remember him from that series?
Yes, yeah. I didn't catch on like for the first minute he appeared. I thought he was like Rex. I got all excited. But after a while, like after those minutes, I caught on. Oh, hey, that's Cut.
Yeah. So he's. It was good to see a follow up with him and his kids, and that he was still doing well. And then we really got to see Omega, and most of the episode was about her development. Her as a kid, getting to be a kid, getting to play with other kids, probably for the first time in her life. It's really, really noisy where you are.
Yeah. I tried to find a quiet place in a restaurant. Hold on.
Yeah. All right. Hey, for those that are with us in the chat, what do you all think of the Bad Batch, the first two episodes? Which was your favorite? For me, the favorite was the first one. And I would, if I gave it a rank, like 1 out of 10, the first one, maybe give it a 9 or an 8, really high. The second one, to me, I also thought was really, really good. I would have given it maybe a 7. It's just not quite as good for me, but it was still really, really enjoyable to watch. What would you rate them?
The first one I would rank an 8. The second I would rate also an 8.
Yeah, you like both of them equally well. Yeah, really
Yeah.
good. That's great. I saw that Normies to Nerve would like me to cut nerds. Come on next Saturday. Mike, thanks for the heads up. We'll try to get hold of them and work out something. going on. I try to keep my evenings and weekends open for Mrs. Claus, and we get family time. So we'll see if we can work something out. And tomorrow I'm supposed to appear on another YouTube channel late at night. So we'll see if we can work that out. Saw you come on the stream with KRT. Yeah, I did. Spencer agrees with the ratings. Bringing back a character we haven't seen since 2 decades ago. LaQuain. LaQuain's been. We haven't seen him for a long time. Now, there was something interesting that I thought happened in the episode that's worth discussing. Is they talked about those chain codes. Had you heard of chain codes before?
Yeah, they all appeared to Mandalorian.
Right. And a Mandalorian, you saw Boba Fett mention his chain code with the armor. So it's a bit of a history that shows, who you are, where you've been, things like that. But apparently a chain code could belong to a person or to an object, because Boba Fett was given it for his armor. Right, like this armor belonged to my dad before me, and so on. But in this case, they're applying chain codes to people, like a passport that you would carry around to go from place to place, and it would track where you've been, who you are. I thought that was interesting because we've not seen that in the original trilogy or the sequels. Right, we've not seen that, but they're introducing it, and just before the prequel or the original era, which means either these aren't going to last long or they're changing everything that comes after it. I'm really, really curious to see what they're going to do with that.
Do you think by like setting this up in Bad Batch, they're kind of like dropping more hints about the Lonely Force? Because it's in Mandalorian and also in Bad Batch.
Perhaps. I do think they're working to integrate everything together. So when we see this content in the Bad Batch, I would expect to see it show up other places, like Omega. We're getting introduced to Omega for the very first time, but I think we'll probably see her in other shows, and maybe even in like the Mandalorian. We've seen Boba Fett. Boba Fett is sort of like her brother. We might see her show up because she's also a clone of Jango Fett. And if you think of it that way, she's sort of a daughter of Jango Fett, like Boba is a son of Boba Fett. So they're basically brother sister through cloning, and I think they'll introduce her in live action series afterwards. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely see Omega returning, because like where was she in Rebels, Rogue One, the original trilogy, and this Mandalorian?
Yeah, I think so too. And now, she wasn't around during the original trilogy, but I think we'll get a story about where she was during the original trilogy. So I think that'll come into play. What are your thoughts about Omega? Do you like her as a character so far?
Yeah, when I first saw her, I thought she would be another like really annoying character, but she's not, and I really like that.
Yeah. And the reason a lot of people thought she'd be an annoying character to begin with is because the other kids that we had introduced, like Ezra Bridger in Rebels, with the first episodes of him in season 1, he was kind of annoying. Also, Ahsoka in Clone Wars, the first couple of episodes with her, a lot of people. It's really loud. Let me just mute this for a second. So, and I'll unmute you in just a moment. But that's really, really loud. So, but Ahsoka in the first couple of episodes of the Clone Wars season 1 was also a lot of people thought was very, very annoying. So I thought that a lot of people thought Omega would be annoying the first ones. Over time, we'd get to know her better. but that wasn't the case. I think they've started off with her likable character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's setting up to have like really great potential in the future, and I really like that.
Do you think that she is force sensitive?
No, no. If she's force sensitive, then Rex should be force sensitive. The Bad Batch should be force sensitive. Every clone in Camino should be force sensitive.
Well,
So
maybe. Yeah, I think I agree with you in a little bit that if you make one clone force sensitive, it asks why aren't other clones force sensitive, and I don't think it's necessarily inherited that way. But if it's just a percentage kind of thing, like one every 10,000 or one every million, then you would think there would be other clones who would also be force sensitive just by nature of the randomness, right? So, yeah, I think I think it does introduce some questions if she is force sensitive. And I would prefer that she not be. But I think a lot of people think that she is, and maybe that she is a special clone that Palpatine ordered. Do you think maybe Palpatine was involved in creating her?
probably, I could kind of see that.
I I tend to think no. And the reason I say no is because I think the Kaminoans are hiding. They don't want anybody to know what they're up to with her, and that she has something that they designed her for, and they don't want that revealed. I also think that they wanted her to go with the Bad Batch for a particular reason, and so a lot of people are thinking that, well, that would fit with Palpatine as well. Like, he had her created for this reason. He's sending them with the Bad Batch because he has plans to use her later. So I think it's really early to tell, but it's some interesting thoughts. Dale says the Nexu is pretty cool. I thought it was cool too. Did you see the Nexu? Do you know what he's talking about? You're muted. You unmute yourself. There you go.
The creature thing. Yeah.
Right. It's like that big
Yeah.
creature with all the teeth and all the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was interesting. I when I was watching it this morning, I thought it was interesting that that creature is lurking outside of their compound, and that it seems to know where the barrier is that it can come into, and that it purposely stays out. And the barrier itself isn't what keeps it out, because it can easily jump over that fencing or go around it. Doesn't seem to be the problem. The problem seems to be that when it comes inside that area, that they're able to kind of shoot at it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Reefer Man's reviews. You'll catch a replay. Thanks so much. He's going to go watch Jupiter's Legacy. I know a lot of people are looking for that today because it was dropped on Netflix. Dale says, I hope she is, but not a Palpatine, being force sensitive. Tyler the Kid, the Kaminoans don't do anything randomly. If she's force sensitive, it's by choice, although I highly disagree with making her force sensitive. I agree with you, Tyler the Kid. They even said, so when LaQuaine was introduced to her, they said, this is Omega, and when they introduced her, he said, look, the Kaminoans don't do anything by accident. She was designed for a purpose. What is her purpose? And that raised some questions to me. So if she was designed for a purpose, and in the way that they all came out, all 5 of them came out, was purposely designed, then that means that, like, Hunter was designed to be very tactical, that Tech was designed to be very technologically inclined. right? Intelligent. Wrecker would be bigger and stronger. So if all of that is very purposeful, then her being female, for one, isn't hard for them to do. And then secondly, what is she designed to do? Do you have any ideas what you think she might be designed to do?
Trying to think, like, it's like she can shoot, like she can blast things. Maybe she can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, she can shoot. We've seen her shoot the blaster, and then in the previews, we've seen her with that bow, and that's something all new nerds brought up. That she has used that bow, and a lot of people are wondering if there's any kind of identity associated with that, like the Night Sisters. So a lot of people think maybe she was a clone of a Night Sister, or she's a clone of Palpatine, or she's a clone of Satine, one of the Mandalorians, or maybe she's a clone of something else. We don't know for sure. I think she's a clone of Jango Fett, but I don't have proof yet. Do you think she might be a clone of somebody else, or do you think Jango Fett?
I think she might be a clone of Jango Fett.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the other four are clones of Jango Fett as well, and that with her being a clone of Jango Fett, it just fits in. Like everything else is the same. She's one of five. The other four are clones of Jango. She's a clone of Jango. The other four are not force sensitive. I don't think she's force sensitive. I think that she might be able to mimic. So we've seen like superheroes that can mimic other superheroes' powers. And I think maybe that's her power. She can mimic powers that other clones have. So with the Bad Batch, you've got somebody who's computer savvy. She might be able to mimic that computer savviness and hack into computers really well. She can see. Wrecker is really, really strong. Well, for her age and size, she might be really, really strong. We had a mention this morning that perhaps when she threw that ball, right, they were playing in the yard. She threw the ball, it went way over, and that's how it ended up there, where that creature was, right? So maybe that just shows that she can mimic that strength. Maybe she can mimic other people as well, and then maybe that's her power. So that's what I'm wondering right now. I'm not sure, and it would explain why people see her as being very intuitive. Let's see. I see some comments. Ducky, let's just get caught up with some comments here. Ducky says she probably has a chip, but we don't know what her trigger is. Right. So Order 66 was given. It was interesting. Cut McQuain did not seem to have any reaction to Order 66. He didn't seem to be affected by it. He still had ability to think normally and all of that. And so maybe it's just because he hasn't been where a Jedi was and heard the command given. So his chip hasn't been activated. And like Ducky mentions here, some people think that maybe she also has a chip that can be activated. Maybe it's not Order 66, but it's Order 67 or 68 or 70 or something else. So I don't know. And if the Kaminoans put it in for her to execute Palpatine, that would be interesting, but I don't know about that. Yeah, Wrecker is a version of Zeb. So Zeb from Rebels was kind of a brute and not all that intelligent, and Wrecker is the same way. All right. All new nerds. Yeah, Django, but maybe experimental DNA. Oh, certainly. Yeah, I think so. Dale. She's a clone of Luke's hand. Well, that's hilarious because Luke was just born, just like he's an infant, a toddler, and he's probably just an infant, maybe just a couple of days old. So if it was Luke's hand, that would be hilarious because it hasn't been chopped off yet. So I don't think it's Luke's hand. And they're having fun. So Mandalorian citizen models in the background. I mean, do you think we'll get to see some Mandalorians in the Bad Batch?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. We saw them in both the Clone Wars and in Rebels. So it would make sense that we would maybe run into them here as well, since this is right in between, right? She's a clone of Zam Wesell. Oh, you guys, Mick, just dropping in to say hello. Well, hello there. Appreciate it. You haven't started it yet, so you have to catch up to it later. So what else? What other thoughts do you have about the Bad Batch?
Do you think we'll see Coruscant?
Coruscant, yeah, I do. I think we're going to get to see a lot of worlds. We've already seen a couple, and I think we're going in the trailer that we got earlier in the week. We saw several worlds in there, and we haven't seen those yet either. So I do think there'll be Coruscant at some point. Yeah. Chip with orders from a rogue Jedi. Perhaps, John. Perhaps. Mike Porter asked, could Omega be their last experiment? Yes. I think for sure she's the last experiment. It goes with Alpha and Omega. John Gaunt. That's hilarious, Dale. No, he's saying hello. He said hello to John. But John Gaunt, isn't that a character in a movie? I gotta remember. John Gaunt. I'm pretty sure that's it's an English prince, military leader. I thought it was in a movie. But okay, I'm wrong. Just English history. So, any other questions? What else do you think?
What episode do you think we'll see Rex in?
Oh, they're very close to Rex. I think we might get Rex in the very next episode. And then the other question is, we've seen Fennec Shand in the trailers, but I don't think she's going to meet, or they're going to meet Fennec in the next episode. I think it might be another 2 or 3 before we meet her. Ducky. Omega meets up with Caleb and they both save Grogu. Oh, so that's another rumor that came out from Kessel Run Transmissions, is that Grogu was going to show up in the Bad Batch. Do you think he'll show up and maybe win?
Oh, I love that. Grogu is my favorite character.
Yeah, Grogu, a lot of people love him. But I do think he'll show up, and then we'll get to see how he was rescued from the temple as a part of this series. So yeah, I think so too. There it is. It's a comic book character from the 80s and 90s. I knew I recognized it, John. Thanks. Thanks for clearing that up for me. So what else? What else you want to talk about?
Do you think it's the Bad Batch that saves Grogu?
No, I don't think that they are going to save him. There's a couple reasons for that. Kessel Run Transmissions said that he'd be saved by a well-known Jedi. And, of course, none of the Bad Batch are Jedi. And even if that well-known Jedi delivered him to the Bad Batch to take, part of Grogu's backstory is that he went through some very dark times, and he's going through a little bit of post-traumatic stress disorder, right? So some PTSD. I think that he was rescued by some Jedi, and then he's been experimented on and off for a long time. So no, I don't think the Bad Batch are going to save him, but they may transport him at some point. Mike says, I bet she's a superior thought clone. And they allowed her to go with the Bad Batch to hide from the Empire. I think that's a really good theory, Mike. I agree with you. That's a good one. Omega holding baby Yoda. Disney won't pass up on the plushie sales. That's a good point, Ducky. Maybe they will. All right. What else?
I just like the fact that it still has the same animation style as Clone Wars.
I do too.
Now they didn't they did find the middle end between Clone Wars animation and Rebels animation. They didn't go for Rebels animation for Resistance. They stayed with the Clone Wars animation.
Yeah, and and it stayed. Even in the first episode, when it opened up, it burned away the Clone Wars logo to reveal the Bad Batch logo, and it's continuing with that animation style. I that's a popular animation style for Star Wars, but we know that we're going to get some other animation styles coming soon, like Visions is coming out a little later this year, and that's going to be anime style. So that'll be they've got some of the top anime artists and animators, animation studios creating these stories. So those will be different. And then remember, there's the droids or Droids Tales, where R2 and C3PO in live action, but the thought is that they're going to be telling stories that are animated, and that animation style we don't know yet. Mike, Omega is definitely enhanced in some way. Absolutely. Park, by the end of the season, we'll have a totally different opinion and perspective on Omega. Absolutely. I think that's I think that's fair to say. Yeah. All right. What else? Is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
Not on Bad Batch. I have a question about other series though. When do you think we'll see Ahsoka? Like the Ahsoka show?
Yeah. A lot of those. So the only thing that we have any kind of schedule for, we're supposed to get Visions in 2021. So sometime later this year. The thought is that it might be August or September, and then we're supposed to get the Book of Boba Fett in December, and then the third season of Mandalorian is supposed to come right after the first of the year. So those are the only things we have dates on. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show is supposed to be early 2022, so maybe this time next year. And outside of that, we don't have a date for Ahsoka. We don't have a date for Rangers of the New Republic. And we don't have dates for any of the other series that they're working on. Andor, we should be getting a date for Andor very soon. I would hope that comes out next summer. And it may even come out before Obi-Wan. We just don't have dates on so many of these things. Trinity, hey there. Oh, I watched your channel from this morning. Never did reveal that full shirt design. Here, I won't charge people $1,000. Here's mine. It's Ohio State Buckeyes and a clone. So there you go, Trinity. That didn't even cost anybody any money. How about that? You had to watch Trinity's live stream this morning to know what that reference is. Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars coming. Let's see. Wasn't wild she had to be saved, but from the animal. Yeah. but she saved 4 others by bringing the chain codes. Not only that, but Mike, I saw in after episode 1, people were accusing Omega of being a Mary Sue. But if you watch this episode, not only did she have to be saved from that Nexu, she had to be saved by Wrecker when one of the clones caught her, and or was that I gotta remember. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't Wrecker. But she had to be saved from the clone that had her by the ankle, and then she had issues relating with others and the emotional connection that she's already developed. So I don't think that she is a Mary Sue. I don't like that term, and I think it's misused. But I did think that was interesting. The Nexu and Omega were staring at each other. Thought we were going to see Force reveal. Oh, nope. Yeah, we didn't get that. Dale says, I think it was Lama Su who says she's highly intuitive. Yeah, I think highly intuitive doesn't mean that she has to be Force sensitive either. Could be a Force adept. Yeah. Yeah. Trinity. Why Tarkin is acting like Lama Su and Thrawn were on the inside with Palps the whole time? Yeah. Well, I don't know how much Tarkin knew of what Palpatine was up to. Stormy, Omega is the favorite new Star Wars character. Yes, I said it. Stormy, I love Omega as well, and the potential for her character is exciting. Yeah, Dale, I hope we would have saw her tame the Nexus, but it would have pushed the Mary Sue thing too hard. Yep. I don't see a Mary Sue. That's paranoid talking. Right. But there are people out there already posting it. I've seen it in chats on other streams. And so people are already pushing that narrative. We already talked about Omega. You like Omega's character as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else?
Do you think we'll...
No, go ahead.
Okay. Do you think we'll see more? The member of the Bad Batch that turned on the Bad Batch, do you think we'll see him again?
See who?
The heavy, I think he was, who turned on the Bad Batch. Last episode.
Crosshair?
Crosshair, yeah.
Yeah, I do think we're going to see Crosshair. He's going to be, I think Tarkin is going to send Crosshair to chase down the Bad Batch, and we'll see him run into him every now and then. The question is, do you think the Crosshair will come back to rejoin the Bad Batch as one of the members, that he'll get that chip fixed in his head and that he'll come back to them?
Yeah, because in my opinion, I think Hunter was right in what he said to Crosshair in the first episode, but Crosshair just kind of like crazy of like that situation they were currently in, and returned.
Yeah. And Mike, I completely agree with you. I don't think that Rey is a Mary Sue either. She's just virtuous. She is virtuous, and there's nothing wrong with that. Being a virtuous character, strong of moral, having a strong moral compass and doing what's right doesn't qualify a Mary Sue. Even just being overpowered, an OP character isn't a Mary Sue either. Mary Sue has several attributes, and I don't think Rey meets those qualities. She's virtuous, and she's OP a couple of times, but generally overall, I don't believe she's a Mary Sue either. They mentioned Maul. You think we're going to get Maul in this series?
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think of like in the timeline where he would be.
Yeah. Right after the season
Because
of Mandalore, right? Because that happened during season 7 of the Clone Wars, and we see him show up again in Rebels. So, yeah.
this could be.
These are
I'll just mute him while they ask him a question.
customers, and I know you've been sitting here for a while. Buy something where
Okay.
Ducky, I agree with you. I think that Crosshair will sacrifice himself to save Omega. I don't know about saving Omega, but perhaps his brothers, including Omega. So maybe not just her, but all of them as a whole. Do you think at the end of the series, Crosshair will reunite with the Bad Batch? Yeah, I don't think so. I think he'll die. I agree with Ducky. I think that he will die by the end, and that'll be his outcome. Let's see if we've got Creative Imagine still with us. Oh, okay. Looks like we've got. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, his camera's frozen up. I just, yeah, I saw that too, Mike. I'll mute, and if you get back in, well, I'll just leave it unmuted. We'll see if we get you back in the stream here, Creative Imagine. What else? Just wanted to highlight Creative Imagine. There you are. You're back. Can we? Oh, wait. I got to unmute you. Hold on 1 second here. There you go.
Sorry, I was sitting at a table for too long, and they told me I had to leave it for somebody else.
That's okay. That's okay. So let's wrap it up. Is there anything you'd like to close yet? Tell us about your channel. What are you working on right now for your channel? You mentioned that you like to create movies. Is there a project you're working on right now?
Hey, we can keep going. If I just have to move. I can sit out here. I'm outside now, so like you can keep going.
Okay, but are you working on a movie? Is there something that you're currently working on?
I'm always looking for ways to like. Well, not right now, but like I'm always finding ways to like create new stuff. There's if you look on my YouTube channel, you can see there's an animation. And the actor like creating that's kind of like inspired me to like create new stuff. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, now I just need to get back to work as well, and I just wanted to let folks get a chance to know you, direct people over to your channel, and hopefully you're able to create some content folks can go watch. And from what I gather, you like to create all kinds of different stuff, not necessarily just anything for Star Wars, but whatever might be of interest to you at a given point in time, right?
Yeah. There's if you look on the channel, there's a short movie about my hamster. The video next to it is about like a big cap of last year using the Star Wars format, which is my cousin's favorite. There's the animation, and that's basically it on my end.
Excellent.
The rest, yeah.
Very good. And Park had a theory here about Park Outdoors. Said he said it on Landon stream, but he thinks Crosshair sacrificing himself, and then Cody takes the leadership in that squad would introduce Cody's role in the series. That's very possible, Park Outdoors, but I'm not sure. I think they'll stick with the core group as it is now. Crosshair giving himself up. He's already been replaced by Omega on the team, and they added Echo to the team, who is Cyborg, not really a he's a reg a clone, but he was added because of the cyborg nature. So I don't think they'll replace Crosshair if and when he dies. If he dies, then I think that he'll just be dead, and they won't change the group. However, if he is redeemed, he's able to solve that problem and come back, then they could add him that batch. But I think that would be it. So, although I'm not opposed to seeing more Cody, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I just don't think that's probably what's going to happen. All right. Well, like I mentioned, I need to get back to work. I've still got things going on, but I really wanted to thank you for reaching out to me. I hope folks go over and check out your channel and appreciate what you're doing there. And have a great afternoon.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Take care, everybody. And we'll go ahead and end the stream here and let you all know that we may be doing something with Echo Based Network tomorrow evening. Look for more information on that. But Mother's Day kind of has things up in the air for everybody's scheduling. Otherwise, we'll get that scheduled for later. And if we don't see you until next time, we'll see you all Monday when we come back for more Star Wars talk here on Star Wars Santa's YouTube channel. Hope you all take care. And Merry Christmas, everybody. May the Force be with you. Bye-bye.